Good evening, all of you beautiful people on the internet. Welcome to Bonus Stage. My name is Josh, and we are here for yet another Let's Listen episode. Tonight, I am joined by none other than Lex, the Lexicon Artist, and her lovely producer, Michael Kill. Hey, in unison, both. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty
Tired.
I'm actually
tired but excited.
I have asked for unison on like so many times, and you are the first people who have actually nailed that. And the fact that your responses were so different made it all the better. Oh my god!
I feel like it's a good reflection of how most people are feeling good but tired.
Yeah.
Or tired but good.
Yeah.
Oh man, the creative process distilled 100%.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well, folks in chat, hello, welcome. If you didn't know, we're here tonight to celebrate the release, or the impending release, I should say, of Lexi's third full album. I can't believe it. Third full album. That is Toxpsychology. Lovely photo shoot for the cover art.
Thank you.
It's
Shout out to
with
Kayla Weaver.
Kayla
She
Weaver.
has
Yeah.
been my photographer for like 6 years, I think. She's always available and always nails it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Kayla.
Knocked it out of the park. All right. Well, hey, if you've got a link to their website or Insta or whatever they go by, send it to me, and I'll make sure that gets in chat. But yeah, so yeah, we're here. This is your third full length album. If people go and visit your Bandcamp, they'll see that there is a lot more stuff on there than just 3 releases, and it has been a while since your second large release. So, Lex, if you want to just give us the cliff notes, tell us what has happened since your last big
You really
release.
want to know?
I mean, maybe not like the full 3-hour H Bomber Guy video, but yeah, just give us a.
Well, for a little bit of context, the last album, Alter Ego, dropped on March 31st, 2020. So a lot
so
has
many careers
happened
were going to
since
take
then.
off at that point. Sorry, yeah, no.
My career was supposed to take off at that
Oh,
point,
yeah,
and it didn't because I lost a whole bunch of momentum because everything shut down. But yes, a lot of stuff has happened. My life has changed. My style has changed. My perspective, my worldview has changed. And honestly, between that time and now, I also got a day job. So yeah, I mean, it has been a long time. I've been trying to be consistent and put stuff out. But it's hard to balance work and life, or in this case, work and work. Really, I've got the Clark Kent thing and the Superman thing going, right? So I got to do the day job during the day, and then I get home, and then I'll like stay up till 2 a.m. working on like these songs and making content for it, and working with Michael. So if people are in chat are wondering, that's why it took so long, and I felt a little bad. I felt like I owed the fans, new stuff. But I'm really excited that it's finally done, and it sounds great, and it's everything that I could have imagined and more, and I'm thrilled about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be. And Michael, you're also involved. You work more on the production side of things, making music and stuff like that. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, about working with Lex on this album so far.
Working with Lex is very different than working with most rappers. 'Cause most rappers don't actually write music, at least not a lot of the ones that I've produced for. So usually when I produce for people like, I did the Brown Coats mixtape with Adam Warrock and stuff like that. Like that stuff, I was writing all the music and he was just rapping. Lex actually is a songwriter, plays instruments, and has a lot of stuff like when they come and work with me. So I get
not to any professional proficiency, I might add, which is why I didn't play any instruments on the album. But I am a composer, and I think like that's something that Michael and I really vibe on. Michael is also a rapper, a great rapper, an excellent songwriter, and he's just got this like wealth of expertise in creating, producing music, finger drumming on MPC. Playing various instruments, and so I just tapped him. I was like, I want a more organic sound, and like your original music, Michael's solo stuff, and the stuff that he does with troubleshooters. I was like, I kind of want to approach it in this direction more, and I want to incorporate some of my songwriting, which is something that we did in the past with Psych Major, which was on Raging Ego, the first album. Psych Major was the first collab between us. I was like, I have this song idea. Here it is in like shitty MIDI form. And then Michael and Cecil actually made it just like, so much better and filled out. And I was like, why not do an entire album of that? So that's why we're here.
Yeah, I don't normally want to produce for most people.
Mm.
I do. I have a crew called No Friends, and I produce for everybody in that circle. But Lex is the only person that I really actively want to produce for most of the time outside of that circle, because I don't actually enjoy working back and forth with a lot of artists.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because I work really, really fast, and most people drag things out with indecisiveness and stuff, which drives me crazy. Lex is one of the people who actually can like meet me at the fervent pace I try to make music at.
Thank you. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
But Lex also, like, even when we were here working on the record, like, it's always crazy to observe them write things in real time. Like, there was parts on the record that, they came up with in the basement, like on the fly for some of this stuff. So it was definitely awesome.
That's awesome. Well, it's nice that you guys had that history as well. It always helps to have some extra chemistry with the people that you want to work with. Lex, I saw you try to drop a link. Just send it to me here in the OBS Ninja. I'll make sure that gets to chat. Yes, that's right. I'm the only person who can drop links in chat. That is a security feature.
That's a good idea.
There we go. Pixeljournalism.com. Here we go. This is for Kayla Weaver, photographer at large. Excellent job on that. I've had a chance to sample a little bit of Toxpsychology, but I will be listening intently as we go through this epic third album. Before we dip in, Lex, do you want to like preview those like myself who maybe haven't listened to the whole thing? Who just kind of like, what are some of the themes that you're going for? Obviously, the name is Toxpsychology. A lot of heady subject matter comes to mind, but I want to hear your take on what we're about to listen to.
Sure. So on the Kickstarter page, shout out to everyone who backed the Kickstarter, by the way. A lot of them are in this chat, and they probably have had the chance to listen to the whole album. But the description on the Kickstarter is confronting, embracing, and exhaling your own toxicity. So effectively, I've always explored this theme of psychology in my songs, including Psych Major, which is the collaboration with Michael that I just mentioned. And it's always been something that I've been interested in. I like learning about people. I like learning how to read people. But one of my eternal challenges is trying to read myself. And I think an overarching theme that eventually kind of brought this all together was identifying the toxic aspects of me and just, being at peace with them. And it's kind of processed in a variety of different ways and different contexts and different frameworks, which, if you kind of listen to the album with this thought in mind, there's songs that are more nerdcore. There's songs that, more explicitly reference certain pieces of media or like types of nerdiness. But then there's also songs that kind of approach everyday issues or relationship issues or personal advice, that type of thing, through my lens and through this perspective of the toxpsychologist. So the idea of the toxpsychologist is this character who has all sorts of shit going on in their life, but always feels qualified to give advice to other people. And that's the role that I've played, that I like playing. And I'm kind of like, it's a little bit ironic in some sense, but I'm kind of embodying that in at least some of the songs. So if listeners kind of go into it with that in mind, I think they'll get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, it does sound like a very fun character to play.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Well, we are planning to blast through this album tonight, folks. We have 10 tracks that we're going to listen to. We are going to take them in 2 chunks of 3 and 1 chunk of 4. And then we're going to circle back after the end of the album because there is absentee here tonight. Cecil, who is also involved in the production, wanted to talk a little bit about that. So, Lex, you got me a video of his comments, a 13-minute video to talk about some more nerdy production stuff, which I'm sure a lot of you musical nerds will enjoy. But yeah, other than that, Cecil, yes, thank you very much for the correction there, Michael.
Cecil and they them. They
And
use
they
they them
them.
pronouns.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I played Final Fantasy IV, and I just always like, how do I pronounce that name? Dating myself there. But yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna get into the first 3 tracks of the album here. We have coming up. Let me just read those out. That is going to be Better Call, My Type, and Peacock. Titles alone leading into some great thoughts, I'm sure. Folks, if you don't know what to do, that's fine. We're going to roll with it. But why don't we say, let's
fucking go.
Listen.
You got it, Lex. All right. Let's listen.
I had my mic muted. I was
the
like,
name of the show. All right.
let's
All right.
listen.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that now. Okay. Thanks.
Turn heads in the conference room. They can tell that I'm a weirdo in a costume, like a cybernetic prostitute. You wanna fuck the system? It'll cost you. Thick round peg in a square hole. Keep yourself in check or lose respect if you ain't careful. There goes another one on the straight and narrow. Guess I really wouldn't care though if the issue was de narrow. Walk the fine line between presentable and slipping. You can bend the rules and flip them, or accept the rules and live them. Conventional dispositions fit to placate the pairs. Nonsensical split decisions simply make them embarrassed. But I just can't turn it down. Class nerd to the office clown. Button up my shirt while getting dirty with the awesome crowd. Bottomed out, that's a rock star you talk about. Went to normie college, but I'm dropping out. No way, I just want my own crazy epitaph. It's okay, I'm a phony, so breaking it in half. I won't change. Exterior falls away, gotta take it all the way. I made a better call today. To your car cup holder. Ever since I was 9, and now that I'm much older, I've only grown to be bolder. Got Doritos on my shoulder. Every moment in the office, my soul gets a little colder. All these projects over which I'm taking ownership. Whatever happened to showmanship? Let me talk out of my ass until their eyes fall out. If you catch me running my mouth at a gathering, I'm controlling it. Freak of nature in their blazer and suit pants. Wasn't made to be authoring papers or taking boot camps. I set a gas lamp to the manual. The valuable, it can't bring enlightenment like the truth can. An academic by proxy, couldn't let it go, but I know what stopped me. It's hard to commit to living your whole life offbeat. Thought I'd better call it quits, but I'm too damn cocky. No way, I just want my own crazy epitaph. It's okay, I'm a phony, so I'm breaking it in half. I won't change. Exterior falls away, gotta take it all the way. I made a better call today. When I'm over your billboards on your great American highways, even if I'm still bored, well, at least I did it my way. One day I'll play the Fillmore, and maybe even Taipei. Fulfill the purpose I was built for. Say my final happy Friday. Can't help that I'm a spectacle. Rock stars were never socially acceptable. Taught myself to be professional, but I admit I'm never fully one-dimensional. Caught up in the orbit of Neptune, brought me best friends and discord into my bedroom. Following my calling excites me, but will it all come back to bite me? No way, I just want my own crazy epitaph. It's okay, I'm a phony, so I'm breaking it in half. I won't change. Exterior falls away, gotta take it all the way. I made a better call today. No way, better call it a day. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a type for my perfect man, but I'm not like other girls when it comes to my standards, like height or money or a job with esteem. Oh, they don't matter when it comes to the man of my dreams. He's gotta be well dressed in a suit and a tie, and a pair of nice spectacles that bring out his eyes. And yes, I gotta confess that I'm kind of into skinny men, the skinny little chicken legs, literal chicken legs. Discuss spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Who's that? South of Colorado, so I got Seattle, no about Gustavo. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. His chicken's so much better than Kentucky Fried. He's looking so prim and proper when adjusting his tie. He owns an upstanding business and he runs it with pride. Yeah, he's a bona fide daddy, and I think he likes guys. Whatever, ever, that's just how I like it. A tiny bit of fruitiness is never a minus, with a charismatic presence and a rational mind, an asymmetrical face that's balanced on both sides. Discuss spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Who's that? Meth aficionado, so inesperado, no about Gustavo. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Yes, he does have a lot of cash. He makes drugs in an awesome lab. Yeah, he has killed a couple of guys. Keep them all in line, justified in my eyes. My type's got a secret to hide. Always quiet on the surface, but he's got a dark side. My type, yeah, he's never boring. When he's sweet like Seymour and a sickle like Orin. Discuss spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Who's that? Calm with no bravado, modern desperado, no about Gustavo. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Hey, Popeyes, better move over. Here comes the king of the fast food owners. He's such a nice boss, pays employees well, and he's a stone cold killer who wasted the cartel. Hey, Chick-fil-A, better make way. He's the king of Albuquerque and he's fucking gay. And he spends his off days taking care of the elderly, visiting his friend at the nursing home every week. My type is kinda problematic, hyper enigmatic, quite melodramatic. My type is kinda problematic, highly charismatic, violently erratic. Who's that? South of Colorado, so I got Seattle, no about Gustavo. Gus spring of los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos, los pollos hermanos. Everybody wanna know why I started rapping. They always asking why performing makes an artist happy. Is it the clapping or the cheers or screams? Is being on stage reflective of my fears and dreams? I mean, maybe it is for other people I know. They always tell me making music lives deep in my soul. I could never live without it, I don't need no hoes. I live and die by the music, that's my creed and my code. And that goes the same for comedians and actors. They labor at their craft for the tears and the laughter. They have to, in order to achieve their purpose. A source of self-esteem when they're feeling worthless. But me, I don't need to be a superstar. I do it for the same reason white guys play acoustic guitar. Yeah, it's kinda depraved. When I get up on the stage, I'm just trying to get laid. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. I don't have big dreams, I'm just trying to get some wiener. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. Showing off my feathers in the public demeanor. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. I don't have big dreams, I'm just trying to get some keener. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. Showing off my feathers in the public demeanor. Normal people meet in college or high school, or find a hinge stalling from the garbage they swipe through. Sounds fine, dude, that's not what I do. I throw up all my feelings in public and make it rhyme too. Mind you, I could quit this shit tomorrow. I could leave it all behind with not a little bit of sorrow. I could go back to sitting at my office job, but then how am I supposed to find another knob to slop if I stop hopping on open mics and talking all grotesque? No room for imagination, psychological burlesque. At an audience that acknowledges my honest perspective. Possibly find somebody who is drawn to directness and the true me and wants to do me. Don't want simps or stands, don't want groupies. I want a mythical man who sees through me. I want a bird of a feather, and that's the truth, B. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. I don't have big dreams, I'm just trying to get some wiener. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. Showing off my feathers in the public demeanor. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. I don't have big dreams, I'm just trying to get some keener. I'm a peacock preener, I'm a peacock preener. Showing off my feathers in the public demeanor. I'm like a peacock when I preen for guys. I just showed you my feathers. Please reply. I'm a peacock when I preen for guys. I just showed you my feathers. Please reply. I just showed you my feathers. Please reply. I just showed you my feathers. Please reply. I'm like a peacock when I preen for guys. I just showed you my feathers. Please reply.
Well, that is an extremely strong start to an album that has that is a little overdue, maybe. So good job making up for lost time.
Thank
there
you.
is what I'm trying to say.
Thank
Yeah,
you. It's very kind.
both those two first tracks, very heavy, very intense, very energetic. Yeah, good way to kick things off, and lots of fun there too. Yeah, I mean, your type, big Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad fan here, of course. So really loved all of your all of your little lines in there, all your references and stuff like that. Oh my God, Gus Fring. If he weren't a psychotic maniac, then he would be. He would
Or
be
maybe
somebody's
not.
type.
Maybe not if like this. Maybe not despite it, but because of it.
Oh, oh wow. Oh, we're
This
getting.
is part of the irony here. It's like it's also a song about liking toxic people or like being attracted to toxic people and villains,
Yeah.
which is like kind of an affliction that afflicts a lot of us, me included. Whenever I watch a TV show or like play a game, I always get attached to the villains, like anime villains. Like, oh, always the hottest characters, and it's like Gus Fring. He's got this like businessman, like he's all like put together, but then like just at the flick of a wrist he can like just go boom, just like so psychotic, just I don't know, really cold and calculating.
Yeah.
It's also just like an ironic, funny song because it's from the perspective of a Gus Fring stan that doesn't understand everything about Gus Fring. So like they will say things like, I really like his symmetrical face. And or like I really like that he goes to visit his friend in the nursing home.
Yeah. Oh my
But
God.
it's like an incomplete understanding. It's like what you would expect from a K-pop stan singing about their favorite K-pop artist, except it's Gus Fring.
Yeah.
So it's a little about that song.
Oh man, Gus Fring on tour, everybody. Yeah, I want to see that K-pop show.
LPH, Los Pueblos Hermanos, gang gang.
Oh man. Well, we better call back to the first track before we get too far ahead of ourselves here.
Sure.
Yeah, better call. I turn heads in the conference room. They can tell that I'm a weirdo in a costume. Immediately, you're bringing back those themes of ego and stuff like that. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about this track.
So this song almost got cut. I know that people in the chat would not believe this. I know Michael probably wouldn't have believed this, but I did tell you at one point. It almost got cut. But I ended up deciding that it would be a great opener. And I think it's kind of unique because it approaches my perspective about work and about day jobs. So it was kind of inspired by season 2 of Better Call Saul, which I was watching at the time. You can tell that I was watching Better Call Saul when I was like writing part of this album. But in season 2, Saul gets hired at this, or Jimmy McGill gets hired at this really nice law firm, and he just like doesn't fit in.
No.
And he has, trouble being like the straight man. He just ends up kind of being an office clown, which is like, class nerd to the office clown. So I kind of recognize that. They're reference that. There's a moment where he's got this cup from Kim Wexler, who is kind of like, his relationship / situationship person.
Yeah.
And then he's got this cup, and his firm gifted him a car, and the cup doesn't fit in the car. So it's kind of like a visual representation of the fact that he doesn't fit in because he is unconventional and he doesn't fit into the corporate culture. But he's still trying to make it work like as best as he can. But then eventually he kind of, tries to figure out ways to get fired. So he does this like crazy things in the law firm or whatever. So just to kind of, go back, it's a bit of a meditation about how I feel being stuck between, my work life and my nightlife, the Clark Kent and the Superman, and how I kind of approach and deal with that. So like never fit into your car cup holder, always feeling like I don't really fit the mold of
Mhm.
what's expected of me, and just figuring out how to like break my life in half in some ways. And it also kind of harkens back to like Severance, which is this really
Mm.
fun, interesting show that has come out recently. And like in that, there's this technology that allows you to split your brain between your work life and your outside life, and you don't retain memories from either life. Like when you're at work, you're at work, and when you're outside, you don't remember what happened inside
Mhm.
the office. And I kind of feel like, you know, we don't need technology for that. Like work kind of does that for you. So effectively, you're like breaking it in half. You're breaking your life in half, which is I'm a phony, so I'm breaking it in half, which also references Saul Goodman always breaking his phones in half. So
Ah.
a lot of layers, and that's why like I think it's a good thing, like if you have lyrics in front of you, to like kind of pay attention to them, and then once it's out, kind of go and analyze them, because yeah, there's a lot in there for sure. Anyway, that's the end.
Wow, that's the end. No.
that's
Oh my
that
gosh.
that's the end of my piece. Michael, what do you have to say on the production side of things?
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't know. That was one where you had really locked in a lot of the keyboard sound, which to me is like a huge part of what I liked about the song immediately. And then we just filled it out with Andy's guitar stuff. It was also you always have so many more chord changes than I usually write. So that was fun for Andy because this was the beginning of working through songs for 3 days straight. And just like he would learn them on the spot, and then we would do them like 5 or 6 times to nail them.
You guys
But
really locked in.
yeah, it was crazy to watch Andy. I think Andy was shocked at how quickly he was getting through the stuff. Honestly,
Oh yeah, and like the whole riff in the chorus, like it is kind of a adaptation. It's an interpolation of the Better Call Saul theme. So again, another
yeah.
sly reference, not
Which
explicit.
I think I went and listened to it like after we had already done all this because I had never heard it because I didn't watch Better Call Saul. I didn't watch Breaking Bad either, so I didn't really know the source material on that stuff, and
That's
didn't
okay. It came
really.
out dope anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I think it did. A lot of those times when whenever Lex would send me stuff, she would send me they would send me the demos of everything, and then I would focus on those. There would be a lot of like reference tracks and stuff in the notes, but I normally would not go back and look at those until after we had already recorded stuff.
What? This is news to me, Michael.
Yeah, well, that's on purpose. That's on purpose, and I do that. You're not the only person I've done that with, really, because I want to hear the song for what the song is. So I don't know. I didn't actually go back and listen to that until after we were pretty far through stuff. But I did eventually.
Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Nice. Well, and then we had My Type. You talked a little bit about the lyrics there, Lex. Michael, any insight as to the production on that one?
So with that one, I actually mentioned it when we were chatting in the break, but that was the first song that I played bass 6 on, I think, that wound up making it to a record. Because I started playing bass 6. I play guitar and I play bass. Bass 6 is kind of neither a guitar or a bass, but I play chords on it a lot, which is not how most people use them, and play through a lot of distortion and gain, so it helped thicken that up and make it really heavy in parts. But yeah, that was probably the most interesting part of the production on that one for me. I think I did the MPC drums on that one too, maybe for part of it. So we did all of this we did so much work in these huge marathon sessions that now it becomes like one song in my mind.
The whole album, just continuous. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is like the flow of it. We only did one song at a time. We weren't really actively working on more than one at the same time, but they were so close together that it definitely does kind of fuse in my mind.
Oh man.
It's definitely one of those ones too, though. Like again, Lex brought a lot to the table already for us to work with, so it was really easy to just sit down with it and flesh it out into a solid piece because the composition's already there. I mean, there's so much of the hard work is done at that point. You just got to make
This song
it
definitely
sound good.
started from the chorus. I was like, Gus Fring of Los Pollos Hermanos, like that's how I build a lot of the songs. Is like I get this chorus stuck in my head, I generate this kind of melody, and I build the rest around it. Anyway,
We definitely, I think, I don't remember if you had asked for us to do the surf guitar stuff in the breakdown. Or
oh,
if
you
that
guys
was
came
me
up with
and-
that.
Yeah. So me and Andy actually had done there's an EP I did of my stuff that, there's a show in Charlotte that happens at one of the punk clubs, the Milestone. That's my favorite venue. But they do a thing called the Beach Formal. And we got invited to play the Beach Formal one year, which is a pretty big deal. And, lots of people dress the part. They'll show up in like a tuxedo tie and a bathing suit and stuff for the beach formal. But nobody had ever changed their music, so we had done a whole EP where we just redid all my songs as surf rock songs. And I still do some of those versions live. But we've talked for years about how we're going to do an original album of the surf rock thing. So I think we just we were just like aching to do surf rock guitars on the record in some capacity, and it just jumped out.
Oh, that's beautiful. Just a little surf on everything you touch. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's not a Midas touch. That's some other kind of some other name.
Adventurous
attached to it.
touch, I guess.
There you go. Oh my gosh. Well, I find it interesting. Yeah, because some of these songs have been released as singles. But I think I heard you, Lex. I think I heard you saying that that some of the one of the earliest tracks that you worked on was in 2022. So when you started working on it, then was this kind of like I have an idea for an album, or was it kind of more like I have these ideas for a bunch of different songs? How can I package them all up?
I try to do the first, and it usually ends up being the second.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
like I'm more driven by concepts, so I'll come up with like an interesting concept, like peacock. Okay, a lot of people ask me why I started rapping. Like it's a common question that I get. I'm like, okay, what if I wrote a response to that, but make it like really cheeky and reveal some of my personal feelings about it, but also make it kind of ironic. So that's how Peacock came together. But then I actually wrote Peacock for a comedy special. Like I wrote a comedy special in 2022 just to see if I could do it. People, some of the people in the stream might have seen like a link to that, but it's no longer like public or online because I ultimately decided comedy wasn't like for me. So I just, didn't make that public. But Peacock was kind of one of the songs that's very punchline heavy, where there's setup, there's punchlines, there's payoffs, there's eliciting crowd reactions at specifically timed moments. So that's why it kind of feels a little different from the rest of the album. And they're also staggered by time. Like I will write Peacock in 2022 and then Delusional in 2024, and then I just try to kind of tie it all together and see where it all fits in. Now the benefit of it is that it's all me in terms of the songwriting and lyrical content and also general song structure, so there is kind of a tying, unifying element to all of it. And then once I started figuring out the theme of Toxpsychology, then every song that I wrote after that, I started bringing in like references to other songs. Like in the lyrics of this song, I referenced this other song. Like this song might say Delusional, this song might say Toxpsychology or whatever. So once that theme became solidified, then I could streamline it a little more.
Nice. That's very cool. Yeah, I definitely appreciate high concept. I mean, I'm a big prog fan myself, so we see eye to eye on that front. But yeah, no, I love where you've taken things so far. Yeah, Peacock. Well, yeah, this is, as you said this is a response to the question of why you started rapping, and
you'd be surprised how often I get that. It's like I know people are just trying to be nice, but it's like I feel like it has something to do with the way that I look. where people are like kind of incredulous and don't understand why I started rapping, or they're, I get this a lot, like, oh, I didn't expect you to do that, or so what made you start rapping? I'm sure, Michael, you get this a lot too. And so I just wanted to come up with a cheeky, funny response that, yeah, as I said, would also reveal something about myself and like kind of a little bit part of my motivation, certainly not all of it. Now, in that song, I kind of say, like, I could leave this all behind. I could quit this shit tomorrow. I could leave it all behind with not a little bit of sorrow. I could go back to sitting at my office job. But if you listen to Better Call, you would understand that, like, it's not entirely sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very intentional track order there for that reveal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not the one? I have a fretless ukulele bass, and I remember you in the basement grabbing the ukulele bass, and you wrote a part on it, and then you went to the piano and played it there instead, and then we ended up using it. Was that the song that we did the bass line?
That's exactly the song. Yeah, that's exactly this song. Because originally I had written it on a YouTube beat, and obviously I don't own the rights to the YouTube beat, so we had to come up with something else. And I was sitting in Michael's basement, and he gave me that ukulele bass, and I play a little bit of bass, not very well, but I play it. And yeah, just came with the doom doo 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 doo, and then went over to the keyboard, and then Michael was like, "That's it, that's the bass line." Michael was like, "This has already replaced the YouTube beat in my head."
I just immediately did the MPC drums. We did the drums on the MPC and put that bass line down, and it was pretty much done. That one came together really fast. It's one of my favorites on the record.
Oh,
Thank you. Same.
Hell yeah. That collab pace that you two were talking about earlier. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, we've got some more album to listen to, of course. Coming up next, folks, we've got Delusional, we've got Backslide, and we've got Slippin'. Oh man, Slippin' Jimmy. There's still some more Better Call Saul.
I told you I was trying to make a Better Call Saul project, and then ditched it, and then decided the songs were good, and just put it on a normal album instead.
Oh man! Well, happy birthday to everybody who likes Better Call Saul. We're celebrating you today. Oh my gosh, that's me. Absolutely. I love the show. I love there's so much heady stuff to bring into a rap, and you've packaged it all very nicely as well, Lex. But yeah, unless there's anything that you want to preface these next three songs with, we can get into it.
I think Backslide is kind of where the whole idea of the theme of the album Toxpsychology started. So for those who are listening, like, Backslide was based out of this true story of me being the toxicologist to a friend of mine here in New York, who was asking me for advice, and I like purposefully enabled her so that I wouldn't feel like such a piece of shit for like for also doing bad in my life. But yeah, that's kind of where this whole toxicology theme all started, was Backslide. So yeah, that's the 5th track, and it's going to be in this next section.
Yeah, the central point of the album, even the heart of the concept is at the center. I love that. Yeah. All right. Well, Michael, maybe you got the cue for this one this time. So let's try this again, folks. Let's
listen.
I could have been famous. That's right, as a matter of bad timing, I was born too late to blow up on YouTube, but too soon for the FYP. Got nothing in common with the kids swiping, only spent a couple years buying CDs. If I had a stylist or a street team, maybe if I went to tissue, would find me on your TV screen. I say all that, but deep inside I know it's a lie. Looking at my piece of shit work ethic with a cynical eye. And still with the gift of disappointing fans and critics alike. More discipline with a violin than there might have been, disillusioned in a different life. Ooh, saddled with mental baggage, convinced of my intellectual advantage. We can't all be in the 90th percentile, and that's what it means to be average. Guess I'm delusional. I could ever Guess I'm delusional. That I could ever be loved for me. Yes, I'm delusional. No, I ain't talking about family, 'cause the lies that I was put together is why it took forever to see. And that's the problem with me. And that's the problem with me. Yeah, that's the problem with me. Yeah, that's the problem with me. Yeah, that's the problem with me. Hey, hey, it's a toxpsychologist. I got solicited advice. See, it's not that hard to get me into bed, but it's hard to get me in there twice. I see you're hung up high over toxic guys, but can't really get over the D. Try to quit cold turkey, but it just ain't working. Let me tell you what a girl really needs. You've been reading all the pop culture blogs with the tips and tricks, but feeling not so hot? Here's a quicker fix. You better stop holding off, send a text and pick. You'll be on you by the end of the week. So sweet. If pop stars talk up the sick obsessions, then what's so wrong with a little regression? Trade the progress bar for a bit of attention. It's the healthy people, those are the freaks, and everybody go, ooh. Backslide to the left, ooh. Backslide to the right, ooh. Cha-cha to the bed, ooh. Don't act so innocent, ooh. Backslide to the left, ooh. Backslide to the right, ooh. Cha-cha to the bed, do it one more time. There's simply no better although your friends disapprove. While you may never improve, if you want to live a life as exciting as mine, put your honesty aside, you got to backslide. It's true, as a toxpsychologist, I got an epidemic for spilling tea. Though it was acknowledged from a love of gossip, no one ever shared shit with me. So is it such a shock to play love doctor? Just a hobby, but it seems legit. Go ahead, state your problems, I'll enable all of them, so I'm not the only piece of shit. So you've been listening to self-help podcasts trying to heal, but if it gets a bit static, then I'll strike you a deal. Give you reckless abandon for your righteous ideals. No embarrassment in being weak. Here to enable your worst impulses. Patron saint of a curse indulgent. Don't call me unstable, the term's insulting. It's the healthy people, those are the freaks, and everybody go backslide to the left, backslide to the right, cha-cha to the bed. Don't act so innocent. Backslide to the left, backslide to the right, cha-cha to the bed. Do it one more time. There's simply no better although your friends disapprove. While you may never improve, if you want to live a life as exciting as mine, put your honesty aside, you got to backslide. They say I'm the fun one now, they follow me as they should. Backslide till the sun comes out, so bad but it feels so good. They say I'm the fun one now, they follow me as they should. Backslide till the sun comes out, so bad but it feels so good. They say I'm the fun one now, they follow me as they should. Backslide till the sun comes out, so bad but it feels so good. They say I'm the fun one now, they follow me as they should. Backslide till the sun comes out, so bad. There's simply no better although your friends disapprove. While you may never improve, if you want to live a life as exciting as mine, put your honesty aside, you got to backslide. Ow!
Side effects of the backslide may include reduced self-esteem, existential dread, and judgmental glances from your friends. The backslide is not for everyone. Talk with your doctor to find out if the backslide is right for you.
Wanna see you do your thing, now it makes me kinda think that I really wanna drink. Every time I watch you go, yeah, you got me feeling so. Baby, you already know, you're so bad, you're so bad, you're so bad, I just keep on going at it, I can help it, I'm an addict. I'll always bend the rules for you, they say I'm way too cool for you. Got me crazy like I'm candy flipping, promise it's okay, you'll never catch verse. Let out the bad girl, nothing contains her. Roll up to the sucker, then we're making a scene. Maybe I'm all up in your clutches, cause you make me feel seen. Yeah, we're bending all the laws of the world to our whims. Being good's never rewarded, but the worst always wins. Holding on to fond memories, so sit a bond sweet. Deep purple is the motto when it's hitting on beat. Always bend the rules for you. They say I'm way too cool for you. Got me crazy like I'm candy flipping. Promise it's okay, you'll never catch me slipping. I love it when we play that game. Partners and everything but name. Now you got me in a bad position. Promise it's okay, you'll never catch me slipping. Whoa, 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 whoa.
God damn, I am loving the flow. I will say, Lex, not only your lyrical flow, but I am also just loving the flow of the music, of the styles and stuff like that, the influences. I feel like, you know, I appreciate dips and valleys, some dynamics and stuff like that, some range, and I think you're showing it all off on this album so far. It's been really
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, we started with delusional on that block there. Yeah, I mean, the title says a lot, but maybe you would like to divulge a little bit more on what makes you so delusional.
Well, this song is about a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Which is just the funniest thing about the song. It like doesn't really have a focus. It's really just vibes.
Mhm.
It's vibes about me being insecure about dating. It's vibes about me being insecure about opportunities that I've missed. So I truly believe that if the timing had been right, I maybe could have blown up on YouTube, but I was like just a little bit too late for that. You know, like the Tazon Day, Chocolate
Oh,
Rain, the
yeah.
George Watsky, like White Kid Raps Fast, the epic rap battles of history. I was like, if I had just been a couple of years older and earlier to the YouTube game, maybe I could have caught that wave. I'm also too old for the TikTok game, so like that's kind of that's the first verse where I'm like, you know, addressing how well I'm really like kind of delusional for believing that that's even an option for me. And also and then the second verse is like another way in which I'm delusional where yeah, I mean it's just I'm just collating all different thoughts of like, well, I believe that, you know, I believe that I should have no problem dating, but actually like, you know, maybe I'm being delusional, maybe I'm asking for too much, maybe I'm being too demanding in terms of like specs for a partner or whatever. Maybe I'm asking for like too many specific things that match up to like Gus Fring of Los Pollos Hermanos. But yeah, it's like the chorus is really also kind of ironic. It's like, I guess I'm delusional that I could ever be loved for me. It's like, am I really like, you know, is it really that much to ask for people to like just accept me the way I am and not ask me to change myself? So it's kind of a bit of a meditation on that as well. And then like I really like the breakdown of this song. I was never much good at the home economics. This is a true story. I don't know how to sew. My mother has taught me like multiple times.
Oh, no.
And my grandmother on my mother's side was a like, you know, clothing designer and seamstress, like professional. And my mom learned a lot from that, but I don't know the first thing about, you know, clothing or fashion or how to fix a hole or how to patch up a rip in my jeans. So I kind of use that as a metaphor of like, you know, I was never much good at the home economics. I sewed a costume for myself that wasn't so ergonomic. Like I created this persona for myself, but then like, you know, I started to feel like it maybe like, you know, wasn't a perfect fit. So I've just kind of been learning how to make it fit better, but then worrying about like, you know, if I take it off and throw it out, then I'll no longer have the thing that makes me interesting, have the thing that makes me cool and fun, and I'll just be like, you know, I'll have no more clout and I'll end up naked and kind of basic. So it's just a lot of different insecurities I'll put into one song. I did not expect this to be the single, but as I said in the chat, when Michael heard it, when Cecil heard it, they were like, yeah, This is the single.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I think I said that weekend, probably. I mean, I'm a huge Beatles fan, and that definitely bleeds into a lot of what I do production-wise with that song. In particular, leans into that. Maybe not intentionally, but it definitely captures that vibe, and with the harmonies and stuff, and the ooh chorus.
Wait, what does it sound like again?
Woo!
Yeah, it's so
My
like
favorite part.
yeah, it's my favorite part. It's part of the I can't now. I mean, it's made me realize also how much I talk about people I know that are delusional, or me and my wife talk about people we think are delusional, because now we both do it.
Oh
They're
man.
like, they're fucking delusional, and I'll be like, ooh, ooh. It's just like reflex at this point. Keep doing that.
Oh my gosh. Trigger warning. Woo. Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that is maybe my favorite song on the record. But I
One
don't
of
know.
mine, too.
Every time I listen, I always feel like I feel that way when I'm listening through until like I'm later on in the record. I'm like, oh wait, no, this is my favorite. No,
It's hard for me to pick. People have asked me what my favorite is. I'm like, I really don't know.
yeah, I'm like that with most records I've worked on. Probably like what is my favorite is cyclical, which I'm like that with the albums I like just in my day-to-day life that I listen to. Period. So, yeah.
No, it's definitely a standout. And speaking of standouts, we're going into Backslide. Oh man, this one is this one's a bop. Yeah, we got some really good brass and jazzy vibes on this one. Obviously, you know, the dance instruction. This one is just begging for a music video.
This one was one that it is very outside of the wheelhouse of what I would really go for normally with like sonic palette, but I loved the cheesy sound to the horns. Like I think in the demo it was kind of like clunky sounding horns, but I was like, that's perfect. Like I wanted it to have that even more. So
Turn up the clunky dial. Yeah.
and that one is like, yeah, that one was one we did do at South by, and it was the people responded to it for sure. Like it is a song that is going to make people want to dance.
Yeah, I imagine people breakdancing to this.
Man.
So a little bit about the songwriting and influences for this one.
Yeah.
I was influenced a lot by like radio. So there's this anime called Death Parade, and the opening track is by a band called Bradio, and they're a Japanese funk band, and it's a very deceptive. It's a very deceptive opening because the actual anime is extremely dark and it's about the afterlife, but the opening is just so much fun and makes you want to dance. And the Japanese do this a lot. They incorporate this kind of like funky bass lines, like make you dance, and then it's the theme to something that ends up being really dark. But yeah, this is, you know, it has this roots in Japanese like funk pop. And then I want to call this specific part out. It's the line, if you want to live a life as exciting as mine, put your honesty aside, you got to backslide. So if that sounds familiar, that's because I later realized that it's an unconscious interpolation of Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror. So if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Like, it's the polar opposite of that. It's like kind of riffing on that, but with like the different, you know, funny, like opposite message.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that part musically too, and then of course, like the content of the song is inspired by me and my friend from New York who like leaned on me as the toxicologist.
Right.
And you know, in a world where everyone was telling her like this is a bad idea, don't go through with this, I was there by her side going, hell yeah, do it, what could go wrong?
Oh my god.
That's what your 20s are for, right?
Yeah, I mean, she was in her 20s at the time.
So how did that go for her? Is there a follow-up? Is there a where are they now?
Well, we're still friends, so that's
Okay,
good.
yeah.
She didn't end up going through with the thing that she wanted to do, which is ultimately a good thing.
Right,
But
because you were just being a toxic psychologist.
exactly. Yeah. Shout outs to Andrea. If
All
you're
right,
watching.
awesome, good job, Andrea. Wait to not take that advice that was so lovingly given to you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then backstage, you were telling me a fun little story because there was that little medical disclaimer at the end. Yeah, how did that come about?
I received an email from a person named Connor Howard, and he is a voiceover actor and a fan. And I just received it randomly in my email one day saying, like, thanks for your music. I think it's great. Really appreciate everything you do. And I don't remember if he made the offer of like if there's anything, that I could ever do for like your creative work or something. Or maybe it was me who like thought of this as a good opportunity. I was like, I want a voiceover for the end of Backslide. And so I asked Connor, do you want to write a little medical disclaimer at the very end? And he was super game. He recorded a couple of takes and they were all great. And we attached it to the end. And I think it's fun.
That's beautiful.
Thanks to Connor Howard.
Shout out, Connor. Oh my God, lovely, lovely little bit of community coming together to make all your dreams come true. And then we backslide, but we're not slipping. No, we are slipping now. We are talking about slipping. That is the next song that we listen to, and this one is kind of all over the map. Yeah, we're slipping, sliding between genres. Why don't we just break this down, Lex? Tell us what's going on here.
Sure. So Slippin' is another BCS Better Call Saul inspired song, and it's about Kim Wexler, who is the girlfriend slash situationship slash wife slash ex-wife of Jimmy McGill, also known as Saul Goodman. And I just really related to her journey throughout the show. She's such a ride or die for Jimmy, and they, have such a good thing together, but like good in a toxic way.
Yeah.
It's like they are perfect together, but also like perfectly bad for each other. And so yeah, I just kind of explored the conflicting feelings of like relating to Kim, having experienced that in my own life, feeling like a really strong connection to people, but then having it not be like necessarily the best thing as far as personal mental health, but then realizing that I don't know, there's just this thing that like kind of connects you. It's hard to explain unless you've like seen the show. They just keep gravitating towards each other, but they're also like bad for each other. And I think some memes really capture it, but they're not like coming to my head right now. But as far as the musical aspect of it, I was telling Michael and Josh backstage that it's like a weird combination of all of my influences. The opening verse, like the drum pattern in that verse, is literally a ripoff of Avenged Sevenfold, of a song called Almost Easy. And Avenged Sevenfold was one of my favorite bands of all time. I haven't really listened to their stuff recently, but I only listened to them in high school. Like only didn't listen to anything else. And yeah, they're this hard rock heavy metal band, and I they're very like guitar driven. I was really influenced by them. But then this breakdown, I actually interpolated a melodic line from this anime called Kaiji, which is a very obscure anime from like the late 2000s, and it's about this like really dark Squid Game, like before Squid Game was Squid Game, about this guy who gets addicted to gambling and like has to go to like higher and higher stakes. And at the very end, without spoiling anything, he loses something extremely important. And there's this backing track that I just love, and it's by the same composer that created the OST for Death Note, which is one of the most famous anime of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, why don't I interpolate that and make this breakdown section feel like very final, like you gave up something really important to you, but it's like kind of the start of a new beginning. So yeah, it's if you can find it, if you can go listen to the original soundtrack of Kaiji, Kaiji, then you'll find what I'm referring to.
So esoteric. I love it.
Very random.
Yeah.
It's like, Huntington Beach, Los Angeles, Long Beach area band, composer from Japan,
Yeah.
composing for Japanese anime.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
yeah.
So then, Michael, for you producing the music and stuff like that, like what was it like to tie all this together? I imagine it was like sewing lots of people, people. Oh my god, sewing lots of pieces together, like in home economics. Oh, you're muted, by the way.
I've been saying so many things, and that explains why. So yeah, I had no idea about any of that whenever we were working on the track. And whenever I listened to it, I definitely heard a certain like early 2000s rock sound to it, which is definitely what I shot for. And I think worked well with it. But
There's some like
guitars and
Sum
the-
41 in there, like
yeah.
So am I still waiting? All
Yeah.
of us
And I'm
stop
not-
hating. Whatever it is.
I'm not like huge into that sound per se. Although I like Fall Out Boy and some stuff. I like some stuff like that, I guess. But for me, kind of the piano part is what like made the song for me, because I was kind of like about it through the rock part, but then when the piano hit, I was like, oh, I see it now, and then it all kind of came together for me. I know Andy tracking the guitars on that was fun, and he got to do dive bombs on it, which he always likes.
Cecil did a lot of like sliding bass, so because it's like slipping and sliding and slipping Jimmy, they did like boom, 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 and it just ended up being super cool. Yeah,
yeah. Cecil's a really good bassist.
yeah.
That's a super cool, super fun track. Oh my god. Oh wow. Well, we are standing at the bottom of the final listening block here. We got a big one because we're going to do 4 tracks all back to back, and we're going to come around the other side and see you folks there. So Lex, Michael, if you have anything to say about any of these 4 tracks, let's get it out now and get people prepared.
I do. I want to call out some lyrics and Slippin'. Holding on to fond memories so Cinnabon sweet. Deep Purple is the motto, and it's hitting on beat. Cinnabon being the place that Saul Goodman works when he's Gene Takovic, and Deep Purple being the what.
Smoke on the Water, yeah.
Smoke on the Water, which is Jimmy McGill's and Kim Wexler's theme song. Like they sing that song when they're like trying to scam people, and yeah, there's just like kind of references sprinkled throughout all the lyrics. And once the lyrics come out, I highly encourage you to go analyze them and look for Better Call Saul references.
See, I have, since I never watched that, I had no idea about most of this.
Really?
Some of these references I didn't know were there until you are talking about them right now.
I think that's what makes good nerdcore. It's a general enough song that you can relate to it.
Yeah.
And apply it to your own life and kind of feel the emotion that I'm exploring. Like I like to explore general emotions and then make them nerdy, I think, and approach a nerdy topic. But then I'm also kind of, giving Easter eggs to the fans of the material, but not making it so obvious that it's cheesy,
And that's always been a thing. Like, it's not even a nerdcore thing. Like, the Beatles did that. Like, he literally talks about a TV show called Meet the Wife and a song on Sgt. Pepper. Like, like nerdcore referencing pop culture stuff heavily is like not even a nerdcore exclusive thing. And like a lot of good nerdcore doesn't make any nerd references, but also when it does, there should still be a good song there. And that's what makes this record good is I don't know those references, but the songs are still there.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that just proves my point.
Yeah. Oh man. That's amazing. Yeah, the producer himself enjoying all of it, and it's completely over here.
I had no idea.
Oh my god. Well, I fully expect your lyrics to show up on the Better Call Saul wiki when it comes out. Sorry, my cat is having a good time. Would you like to come and get some attention over here, sir? You're very loud. Yes, yes.
Cat,
Little
cat,
little
cat, cat,
break. This
cat,
is
cat.
Kylo. He's a
Hi,
very
Kylo.
handsome boy.
Kylo named after Kylo Ren, hopefully.
Influence, not necessarily like calling him an angsty teenager or anything like that, but phonetically, it's a very beautiful name. So yeah,
I love Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Adam Driver.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh my god. Well, shall we drive on into the last segment of this album? We've got 4 tracks to listen to. We've got Fan Fiction, we've got Ghostwriter, we've got Scene, and then finish things off with Don't Tell, Don't Show. So Lex, since it's going to be a while before we come back to talk to people, why don't we give them a little preview of what we're about to listen to?
Sure. Fan fiction is another, I personally say it's nerdcore. It's approaching my kind of history as a fan fiction writer and reader and being part of the fanfic community, and also kind of interpolating it. I keep saying that word, integrating it into my own life experiences and how I approach love and relationships. So that's fan fiction. Ghostwriter is insane, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
Okay.
Scene and Tell Don't Show are also very different, but I really like how they came out. And I would just say that going into this last 4 pieces, that they're all very sonically different, but somehow they kind of like still tie together because it's Michael producing everything, and because it's me kind of crafting the songs in like a very specific Lex way. So I think they actually flow well together.
Nice. Do we have any more Better Call Saul and or Breaking Bad references to look forward to?
No.
Okay, all right. Apologies, folks. The Better Call Saul segment of the album is complete. Oh my gosh. Well, that's awesome. So we're going to listen to all 4 of these, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Folks, let's
listen.
Writing at the age of 9, let my imagination online, spending ages crafting narratives. Parents said I was wasting time, could never hack it with characters, so I take them right from fandoms I inhabited, adapting them to make them mine, based on titles that happened to stoke my fantasy. Practically wrote the annals for any random who flatter me. Went for broke, dabbling in Pokemon, those were hardly read. In fact, my actual successes were those with RPF. For those out of the loop, that means real person fiction. That means shipping existing people with no permission. Graphic depictions of sex, angst, emotional friction, based not on facts but my own intuition. Is that fucked up? Yeah. But I found a fulfilling being, a source of joy for my readership out in the Philippines. Flash forward to the present, and that's how I fantasize. But when my universe expanded, they had it decanonized. Fuck. All that wishing was right of fan fiction. Guess I only made it up in my head. So the one true pairing was just a blue herring. Guess it wasn't really canon. My bad. My bad. All that wishing was right of fan fiction. Guess I only made it up in my head. So the one true pairing was just a blue herring. Guess it wasn't really canon. My bad. My bad. Got me lust struck, certain I wasn't pining alone. All the other smuts worse, we got an archive of our own. Now I'm on the hunt, working through every line of my phone to find some confirmation that my hypothesis wasn't overblown. Could this report be anything short of heaven sent? Friend said, bro, it's not supported by evidence. What about the dialogue events? It's nothing more than bait. Buying your investment, the more attention, the more you wait. Okay, maybe, but don't you see? Built a delusion around this OTP. Oh, woe is me, I swallowed blue pills like they was OTC. Don't need reality, I make my own TV. Hoping that senpai would notice me. That never happens, hanging on longer than I ever imagined. This just designed to blow your mind, guess that's why they call it headcanon. Perhaps it's time to move on to the next fandom. All that wishing was right of fan fiction. Guess I only made it up in my head. So the one true pairing was just a blue herring. Guess it wasn't really canon. My bad. My bad. All that wishing was right of fan fiction. Guess I only made it up in my head. So the one true pairing was just a blue herring. Guess it wasn't really canon. My bad. 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 pour a cup of coffee, turn my laptop on and I work remote. I got dudes on Zoom and some broken code. Put all my to-dos on a post-it note. I'm not rich or broke, I live a normal life, but at times it's so quiet at my 9 to 5, cause I got a creative streak that I hide inside, so I channel my inner freak in my life online. It goes, hi, thank you, my day was great. That's a cute mustache, really frames your face. Miss you so much, baby, I've been bad today. Of course I only think about you when I masturbate. Woo! Wish you were here so you could see me naked. Oh wait, there's a wait and it's already baked in. Upgrade subscription, unlock new content. My job's to make sure she keeps you locked in. Catfish, I'm no liar, but my word set you on fire. Call me dirty talk for hire. I'm an OnlyFans ghostwriter. I'm no catfish, I'm no liar, but my word set you on fire. Call me dirty talk for hire. I'm an OnlyFans ghostwriter.
Yeah, I love my face. It's all around it. Right now it's you and I, so you can fantasize like nice legs, princess. I beg and I'm like, yeah, I know. Ain't I the best? I keep it so professional. I love my job. It's easy what I sell, baby. I know they fantasize like nice legs, princess. I beg and I'm like, yeah, I know. Ain't I the best? I keep it so professional.
Tweeze my eyebrows while I'm combing the inbox. I need you right now. Just scrolling on TikTok. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, what a bitch. I'm conquering the horse like a lockpick of pig lock. I love to chat and get to know my fans. It's on a profile page, but she won't do that. If it wasn't for me, homie, she would ghost her fans. I keep a conversation flowing like an open dam. I'm wearing Converses and no panties. Made out with a minute and I'm so happy. Turns me on, you want me so badly. I'm sorry to hear that she took the kids. She sounds like a bitch, that's so crappy. That's okay, cause to me, you're always daddy. You want my address and to buy me a drink? Hey, I just dropped home, let me know what you think. Catfish, I'm no liar, but my word set you on fire. Call me dirty talk for hire. I'm an OnlyFans ghostwriter. I'm no catfish, I'm no liar, but my word set you on fire. Call me dirty talk for hire. I'm an OnlyFans ghostwriter.
Damn, I love my face. It's all around it. Right now it's you and I, so you can fantasize like nice legs, princess. I beg and I'm like, yeah, I know. Ain't I the best? I keep it so professional. I love my job. It's easy what I sell, baby. I know they fantasize like nice legs, princess. I beg and I'm like, yeah, I know. Ain't I the best? I keep it so professional.
If you need a little help with the morning wood, parasocial, but you know it's good. Phone sex for the modern age. All yours, just as long as you pay. I'm not a coupon babe with perfect knockers. I can talk no jutsu and it's worth $1, but you never really know if it's truth or fiction. Give into addiction, renew your subscription. People, there are only two types of them. Some are hiding incognito, and some want all eyes on them. They crave undivided attention. They need just to be perceived. If putting on your show is your life's obsession, then maybe, just maybe, you're a freak like me. Whatever place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richmond, Queens. Let it all hang out right in front of a crowd if you're thinking about being seen. Singing la 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. La 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. But don't you know? The more I show, the more that none of them can see inside of me. Funny how we can't see the irony, yeah. with you, but they don't really gotta know your name. They say the city's great for people watching. I have to say I agree. Watch all of the people while they're watching you, while in absolute privacy. From the TikTok models to the open mic comics to the people on your movie screen. From the content creators to your next door neighbor, some people just wanna be seen. Singing la 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. La 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. Yeah, don't you know? The more I show, the more that none of them can see inside of me. Funny how we can't see the irony, yeah. The more they know, the more I alienate them entirely. Out of my face when I try to be seen. Oh, seen. Baby, drop it to the floor if you want some more, 'cause you know that we started a scene. When we first locked eyes, it was no surprise that you and me, we both wanna be seen. Singing la 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. La 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. It's been a minute since your last message. I like the impetus to ask if it is indeed your last, and if you're trying to turn the page. So you'd rather ghost instead of talking to me. That's so pathetic, you fucking pussy. It's been a few months since I've seen your face. I lack the energy to ask you to swing by my new place. You know I'm way too proud to beg. So if your intention is to cut me loose, then it's up to you to tie up the loose ends. Don't try to save my feelings, I already know. Don't stop the pain from healing, so tell me don't show. Don't try to save my feelings, I already know. So tell me don't show. You told me once or twice, I know that feels like several lives ago. Found an excuse as usual, because I'm so delusional. And if the message didn't stick, maybe it's just 'cause I'm addicted to this toxicology. It's my defining quality. All the years I've tried, this knot's too tight to be untied. Don't try to save my feelings, I already know. Don't stop the pain from healing, so tell me don't show. Don't try to save my feelings, I already know. So tell me don't show. Don't try to save my feelings, I already know. Don't stop the pain from healing, so tell me don't show. Don't try to save my feelings, I already know. So tell me don't show. Tell me don't show.
Excellent, excellent album. Bravo, bravo. GG, WP, Lex et al.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Cecil. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Before we discuss now that the album is over, before we
Right.
discuss anything else, I just want to like really dispel the fact that, you know, this is like an album by me. It's an album by a group of people.
Right,
And
of
I
course.
think a lot of people, a lot of listeners don't realize just how much work and how much contribution um from a variety of different people all of this took just to get it to where it is now. I think people have this assumption, especially rap listeners or indie listeners, really, that, you know, the artist does everything themselves. And I do not do everything myself. I could not. I do not have the talent. I do not have the technical skills. I supply the ideas, I supply the concept, I supply the words, and then people like Michael and Cecil and Andy, they kind of pull all of their respective talents together, they put their heads and their hands together and really make this magic happen. So I really have so much, I owe so much to them, and thank you so much for all the time and effort that you have spent on this album. Oh yeah, and Mo, who played bass on a couple of tracks, and Connor, and Sean OG Burns, who did backing vocals on Scene, and Izzy Marsai, who did the chorus on Ghostwriter. Really, very much a group effort. I, you know, wish like, yeah, I wish that just, you know, more people were not like we're aware of that. I'm sure that, you know, many people are, because I do my best to kind of credit everyone. But I just want to really put that out there that this would not, it would not be in this shape for sure. If I did everything myself, it would sound like bleeps and bloops.
Oh man, well maybe we can get like a super edit, just Photoshop everybody else's faces on the album art here. Maybe you can get them in some long bed chairs, you know, like they're your patients in one of your sessions or something like that.
Group therapy.
Yeah, group therapy. The next the next album where Lex credits everybody on the album art. No, I'm just kidding. No, truly, it does. It does take a lot of people to do what you put together here. So
Speaking of the album art, Andrea Wang created
Yes.
the album art. Andrea Wang is the person that I spoke about earlier for the song Backslide. Anyway, it's just trivia.
Calling her out.
Oh man. Full credits for the album are on Bandcamp, and the link is in chat, folks. If you do not have this album pre-ordered, that is a mistake that you still have time to correct. This album is coming out on the 20th. That is next Tuesday. That is released on Bandcamp. I presume it's going to be released on some streaming platforms as well, Lex?
Indeed.
Awesome. Cool. So look for it there wherever you listen to music. But of course, we do encourage people to use Bandcamp. It is the best way to give artists a reasonable compensation for their work, knowing that all of those funds, most of those funds actually go to the artist. All of them if you are on Bandcamp Friday. Anyways, Bandcamp is wonderful. Let's talk more about the songs that we just heard, starting with Fan Fiction. Yeah, there's definitely a fun little story in here. Why don't we hear it, Lex? What's going on with fan fiction?
So yeah, that was the first type of writing that I really tried. I remember the first notebook in which I started writing fan fiction. It was Pokemon fan fiction.
Yes.
And the one that really took off, there's a line that's like, I found it fulfilling being a source of joy for my readership out in the Philippines. This was a real thing. I had like a whole bunch of people from the Philippines reading this fan fiction that I was writing about, American Idol of all things. And I was like shipping real people from American Idol, and like they loved it. They would just they were asking for new chapters like all the time, and I got really busy, but like it was something that I was, you know, I got a lot of value out of. But then like the idea of the real person fiction art, the RPF, I have this line where it goes, my greatest successes were with RPF, and then the background vocal goes, huh? Like for those out of the loop, that means real person fiction. That means shipping actual people. Like some people do this. They'll take like these two real people from BTS or something like that, and then just say, oh, they're actually dating. And this causes problems for people. Like, no, making this up. This is headcanon. This is not real life. So I kind of draw a parallel between that shipping people without their permission with like you kind of making up stories about somebody that you like, right?
Mm.
And like the example that I would come up with in my own life was when I was in high school, I would consider this like my first love probably. And it's funny because my first love was unrequited, and that pattern was repeated multiple times in my life. But it was this guy who we'll call Show. That's what we called him too. But yeah, his name was Show, and he was Japanese, and he was had glasses. He was like really good at soccer, and I was just obsessed. And I made up all these stories and ideas, even though there was so much evidence against the fact that he actually liked me back.
Oh.
And it's just like making up headcanons about people, you know? And that's a form of fan fiction. So I'm drawing a parallel between this very nerdy, niche specific thing and something general that I hope most people can relate with. And there's two lines that I really like in the song that I want to call out. And one of them is, when my universe expanded, they had it decanonized, which is a reference to the Star Wars expanded universe, which eventually got decanonized.
Yes. Oh my God.
So it's the idea of like, I'm meeting new people. I found this person that I feel like is a great fit. But then when my universe expanded, it got decanonized because I found evidence to the contrary.
Mm.
And then the other line that I wanted to call out is one of my favorite bars on the album. This shit's designed to blow your mind. Guess that's why they call it headcanon.
Whoa.
Headcanon and also head cannon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, really proud of that one.
That's really good. Oh my God.
And I came up with the hook of this song. All that wishing was right, a fan fiction. Guess I only made it up in my head. And that was like, I guess I only made it up in my head. Like that little line, I came up while walking around in Quebec City. I was just on vacation, just like kind of hiking solo. And that popped in my head. I was like, I can build something off of this. And that eventually became the song.
Oh man. Yeah, Quebec is a very, very artistic province up here in Canada. So really cool to hear you got a little inspiration up there.
Yeah.
Michael, it sounds like you're coming in with a comment.
Well, fan fiction is the one where I had not heard the keyboard part that Moses added to that song until we were on stage at South by, and I was so confused in the moment because it sounded so different. But it's
the
good.
keyboard was
Moses
beautiful. I feel
Moses
Moses
is,
really
great.
captured this like wistful, longing kind of feeling that really just, I think it elevated the words and the emotions that I was trying to convey.
Moses is an insanely good artist. He's got a couple records of his own too that are really good. It's kind of soul, jazz, gospel stuff. It's not religious necessarily, but it's really good stuff. He's great on his own, but he did a really good job on the keyboard part too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that one was awesome. Cool. And then oh God, and then we get to Ghostwriter. This one's a really good time. Yeah, and then we had Izzy on the chorus and stuff like that. Tell us how this one all came together, Lex.
This was a random conversation between me and my brother. So we were kind of experimenting with some grass.
Okay, yeah.
And we just started having this conversation. He was like, dude, did you know that OnlyFans models have ghostwriters? And I was like, under the influence, I was like, that is the wildest thing I've ever heard of. That is insane. Like, it makes total sense, but that's insane. And then I looked it up and I read this article about someone who was an OnlyFans ghostwriter. And I just wanted to write a song about it. I thought it was such an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think what I was trying to approach here is just this idea of OnlyFans and really like all dating apps like Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, Plenty of Fish, like whatever, like what have you. It's the idea of commodifying human connection with technology and exploring the dimensions of that. And I approach it from a kind of humorous lens, like a storytelling lens, where it's obvious that this is not real life. I'm playing a character who is the OnlyFans ghostwriter, and Izzy is playing the character who is the OnlyFans model.
Mhm.
But then you kind of see glimpses of humanity from the people that this writer interacts with, right? Like, I'm sorry to hear that she took the kids. It's like a funny line, but it's also like dark. You know, these people who turn to OnlyFans for these parasocial relationships are going through things sometimes, and we're all going through things. I'm going through things, and I'm going through things when I'm on a dating app. And I just feel that there's something a little bit insidious about, you know, trying to commodify and capitalize on and generate financial value out of people who are in need of like human connection. And I'm
Yeah.
not like, this is not a critique of the OnlyFans models, like definitely not.
No.
I support sex work, and I support, you know, everyone who wants to make a living off of that, but I just think it's more of a critique of the platform, you know, and
Yeah.
and
The
like the
commodification.
systems that it ends up engendering.
Yeah. That's so
And it
funny.
was very
actually.
deep for a comedic song.
That's really funny. A personal experience. Well, not personal experience, but my brother actually like worked for a service where they, you know, somebody could like text in to talk to a hot single lady or whatever, and it was just my
Right.
brother, you know, just like.
Well, a friend of mine who lives in Florida was a writer, and he got hired to help people write correspondence with people they meet in dating apps. So they like, he's like, I don't know what happens once they actually meet the person, and the person has no personality. But, you know, we at least help them get the date, I guess. But
Oh,
there's
man.
a line in there where it's like, you want my address and to buy me a drink? Hey, I just dropped hole. Let me know what you think. It's like, right? It's like this person's trying to reach out and make a genuine connection with this OnlyFans model that he thinks is his real friend. And then you just like throw another like ad, another distraction at them to like, you know, keep them engaged and keep them subscribed and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not critiquing the practice by any means. I'm just kind of exploring it. And also, Izzy is a friend of mine. Izzy Marsai is a friend of mine from New York, and we met in the New York scene. And she's also a wonderful songwriter and has some stuff out on her platforms.
Nice. Oh man. I'll look her up and get a link in chat if anybody wants to check out more of that. And then, sorry, the segue that I thought of was, speaking of dropping hole, the next song is called Scene.
I thought you were going to make a head like a hole reference because it sounds kind of
Yeah.
9 Inch Nailsy.
That was actually the first thing I was going to say. That was my listening note for Scene, was very much 9 Inch Nails influence. Yeah, really cool sound to it. Yeah, let's get into that. Actually, Michael, do you want to start this one off with the 9 Inch Nail sound? Was that just something that Lex came to you with, or is that something you kind of came
I
up
think
with?
I
on
had
your
some
own?
of that when Lex brought it in anyway. It definitely sounded to me from the jump more like Pretty Hate Machine era 9 Inch Nails. And I've always been more of a fan of the Fragile and the Downward Spiral era. And then Cecil is actually more of a fan of the stuff that came after that, maybe toward With Teeth. I can't remember what.
I actually like With Teeth the best,
reference point.
but I
Yeah.
also it's Downward Spiral and With Teeth for me.
I actually just bought the 2017 pressing of the Downward Spiral. That was like one of my birthday presents. We found a record shop that had it at a cheap price compared to what it is everywhere else. But anyway, so yeah, when I sent it to Cecil, it definitely sounded more Downward Spiral-y probably in some ways. And then Cecil kind of took it from there and made it a little more toward With Teeth. But yeah, I've always, that was actually a criticism I got really early on of my production style, was that it was too industrial. So for me, it was kind of like returning home to a sound in some ways. I love distortion and fuzz.
Yeah.
So it was fun to work on that one for sure. And you know, Trent Reznor's obviously like a pretty big influence on me. So
And those hard compressed drums, absolutely. Oh,
oh yeah. But yeah, a lot of that was already kind of in place when Lex brought it. And I think probably if you heard the mixes, you could just see like this evolution toward where Cecil got it to by the end. I loved the keyboards, and that's what really reminded me the most of the Downward Spiral was the keyboards and the hooks.
They absolutely fucked the shit out of all the vocals, and Sean Burns did screaming vocals, and it rocks fucking ass. I love it. Woo!
Oh my god. Well, if you came with this vision, why don't you tell us where it came from?
Yeah, so Scene is about voyeurism and exhibitionism, and it originated from again, a conversation that I had with a friend. Shout out to Kuko, who is another artist that I know in New York. And we were talking about there are only two types of people in the world: people who want to be seen and people who don't want to be seen. I was like, okay, who wants to be seen in this world? So from the TikTok models to the open mic comics to the people on your movie screen, from the content creators to your next door neighbors, some people just want to be seen, right?
Beautiful.
So it's like we all want to be, all those people want to be seen for different ways, but then some people just they don't want to be perceived at all. Like I have people in my family who are like, please don't perceive me. I happen to fall into the Scene camp, but then the chorus is about me getting insecure about sharing too much. So the more I show, the more I show, the more that none of them can see inside of me. Funny how we can't see the irony. It's like kind of the more I overexpose, the more I overcomplicate, and the less that people know about me. But then, I also make references to like there's a place in Ridgewood, Queens where you could do this and that, and those are also inspired by real life experiences that, because this is a PG-13 rated stream, I will not go into in too much detail.
Is it PG-13? Oh my god, I don't think I set a rating, but this will end up on YouTube later, so
That's fine. That's fine.
right.
Well, I mean, we already broke that seal with Ghost Rider anyway.
yeah. All right.
Scene is like a combination of the sex party experience with, explorations of insecurity, and also just thoughts about voyeurism and exhibitionism in general, all packaged in this Nine Inch Nails like vehicle, and yeah, that's kind of
Classic 90s industrial sex party with the soundtrack by Trent Reznor. Absolutely.
Yes. Love it.
Oh my god. Oh, that's awesome. And then the last track we've got Tell Don't Show. Oh man, it's a good capstone, I'll say, sound wise, theme wise. Yeah, let's hear about it.
Shout out to Bam Weasel, who says that line that was blocked every time someone stops texting them. I guess I kind of crafted this as a goodbye track. It's weird because like there's some elements of it that also say like, that also like don't feel super final. But it was definitely crafted to be a closer. And I guess this is kind of like the most vulnerable and non-nerdcore track of the album, and it really is just, I don't know, reacting to personal experiences that I've had of people falling out of touch. And I tend to fall out of touch with a lot of people as I progress through different stages of my life. But then oftentimes you wonder if that is your own fault, if it is your bad, if it is your bad for not keeping in touch with these people. But then you kind of, I don't know, like a lot of this song was expressing like a level of anger for people who don't make an effort in keeping in touch with you, but also kind of I don't know, there's like messaging of like, well, maybe they had made it obvious by not responding that they don't want to respond to you. But then for me, I'm always about direct communication. It's like, well, if you no longer want to be my friend, or if you want to like, end whatever it may be, then like be straight about it and just like tell, don't show. Like, don't show me what you mean, tell me what you mean, so you can like have a solid, like, clean cut goodbye there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the lines that really encapsulates the conflicting feelings about this is, and if the message didn't stick, maybe it's just because I'm addicted to this toxicology. It's my defining quality. It's like, maybe it's my problem for hanging on to something that is obviously not working. Maybe it's just because I'm addicted to this toxicology. And I'm like, tying it all together, it's like, well, maybe sometimes it is my bad. Sometimes it is me being toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I definitely fall into the camp of taking the strong relationships at least for granted, you know, being like, oh, when we see each other again, we're going to catch up and it's going to be like old times.
Right.
I'm lucky to have some of those relationships, but yeah, I definitely have let that psychology, that toxicology, bleed into other relationships. So that's that's really, really poignant thing to bring up.
And music wise, definitely heavy on the Fallout Boy.
Yeah.
We
He's
got the key
big
change at
anthemic
the
key
end.
change.
Yeah.
Mm, love
Yeah,
it.
the big anthemic key change. It's so good. Yeah, that I know I said earlier that's exactly what I do every time, where it keeps changing what my favorite track on the record is. But I think the harmonies in the chorus, somehow that in particular just like is the thing that makes that one my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think it's going back to that kind of Beatle-y thing going on with it.
And Andy's
But yeah.
solo at the very end kind of makes it, it feels like the guitar is kind of crying, which is the note that I gave him. I was like, make the guitar cry. And he did.
Let's get that wah on there. Yeah.
Yes. I love everything about that track. That's the kind of biting, insightful commentary you can count on.
Right on. Hey, it's all good. No
It's
notes.
very good.
Yeah. Oh my
But
god.
yeah, I love everything about that song. That one was really fun to work on, but it also was one of those ones that it felt very complete coming in, and just had to have some edges sanded off, but otherwise it was there.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, speaking of biting commentary, I think we have a segment by Cecil submitted in video form. So even though they're not live, they are still with us. Is this an appropriate time to show that video, Lex? All right. What don't you?
Absolutely.
Because I haven't been able to like we got this last minute. Can you just let people know what they're about to watch?
So Cecil is the mixing engineer and mastering engineer for basically all of my projects post Raging Ego. And they not only do the, post-production, the mixing and mastering, but for this album, they've also added a lot of elements. What I asked them to do for this particular video was to shine a little bit of light on the mixing process for audio vocal processing. And yeah, you're gonna see some really nerdy insights in this following video.
All right. Yeah, here's about 13 minutes of Cecil. So enjoy. Let's
listen.
What up, nerds? It's Cecil Nick here with some music ideas. We're gonna look at Scene from this new Lex album. Is one of my favorites on here. I don't really need this, you know? It was just sort of performing for you. I haven't done a video in a long time. All right, I got my notes. I have 3 ideas for you if you want to make something like this. Number 1, top-down processing. A lot of people might say, do all the sound design on the track. Do everything on the track. So I have some stuff on this kick drum. Let's look at that. The kick came in sounding kind of like this. It's got all that beater head. We love that. Maybe not phrased like that in 2025. The pedal that hits the back of the kick drum is called the beater. We're canceling drummers today. The first thing I did was bring some low end out of that. Some pretty light mixing with this little channel strip. And then we have all these little drums that Michael sent. Sound like this. You'll see not a whole lot on some of these because I don't usually like doing all of my processing on the individual tracks, especially for drums. I love top-down processing. So there is a group here, everything is routed into, and this is how we get a really big sound where all of the drums sound big. If we do all of our processing on each channel, each drum might sound big, but they might not sound big together. So I'm gonna turn this whole thing off. Here we go. What? Not it. One at a time, there's compression. Taking all the drums and saying, we want those to feel like they're one giant drum kit. And then I wanted them to sound nasty, so we distorted them. And see how it's just crunchier? The other place where we can see this is on these guitars. There's just some like chunky compression again. That's really it. Same idea though, just like taking a group of stuff and processing it all at once. More tea. Number 2.
More is more, and more is good.
An important concept in production is layering. Sometimes you think it's perfect, and then you're like, but it doesn't feel right. And it's like, I just need one more layer of something. Sometimes, if you're like, doesn't feel right, answer might be, take something away. In this case, I wanted to like fill out the drums, and we filled out the guitars quite a bit. Let's like break down some of the layers. First, we're just gonna listen through the pre-chorus into the hook here.
Inside of me, funny how we can't see the irony, yeah. The more they know, the more I alienate them entirely. Out of my face when I try to be seen.
Let's start with the drums. I have a little, will you be able to see it on camera? I have this little drum pad thingy. And Sean added a very nice little tasty layer to the drums. Let's solo that on its own. And then in the mix, I'll turn it on and off. Just like the snare, like everything in the original drums good, but the snare was just like not getting over the guitars. That's what this does. And then going into the bridge, we get this little funky little fill. Sean, thank you. Which kind of like rhythmically makes us fall into the bridge. Without. Like, that's good. But that's great. The next set of layers are on guitars. So when these came in, there was just a single track of guitar, and it was like hitting really well in the demo. But then as I like wanted it bigger and bigger, it just like wasn't quite hitting it. So the first thing I did was take different sections of the song. This is a common technique if you're like a mix engineer and you need to make something bigger than it was. You can sometimes fake a double out of different parts of a song. So I took different pieces of the choruses and then turned this into this. Those are so good, so chunky, so clean. Not clean in like a clean guitar. It's just like very like expertly played. Andy's very good, very technical. I wanted to make that bigger and also gross. My friend Sean, again, amazing. Streams on Twitch. Go follow. I'll do a bloop bloop bloop. So these are just Sean's guitars really quick. In particular at the end, there's this like really evil harmony happening. Which is really clear here, soloed, but in the mix, it doesn't like stick out in the exact same way. We have that like vocal soaring us over, and that's what our brain is latching onto, but then there's this like really dissonant, gross thing underneath it. All of that together again at the beginning. More is more, and more is good. Number 3, worse is better. What the hell do I mean by that? Let's solo in on the pre-chorus one more time from the top.
Maybe just maybe you're a freak. Whatever place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood, Queens. Let it all hang out right above a crowd if you're thinking about being seen. Singing la 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. La 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 la. Some people just wanna be seen. But don't you know?
So, let's solo it.
Whatever place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood, Queens.
That sounds terrible. Truly awful. This is without the bad. I'll do it with context.
Freak what? Whatever place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood, Queens. Let it all hit.
Again, just like everything, it's good, but this is great.
Freak what? Whatever place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of...
Lex wanted me to break this sound down. Truthfully, not a whole lot to it. It's just distorted to hell. There's just a lot of distortion. That's it.
Whatever place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood, Queens.
Let's turn the whole vocal chain off. Maybe that's
Place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood.
that's different.
Place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood, Queens. Let it all hang out right above a crowd.
De-esser, normal. Channel strip, normal. Decapitator, this is a distortion. There's a little juice going on here.
Place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of...
But this one's like more subtle. It's kind of there all of the time.
The more I show them.
It's just adding a little bit of like crunch. But here we add just this massive... The preset was modified. It looks like I started with something called destroyed cymbals.
Place you can visit is a basement hidden in the middle of Richwood, Queens. Let it all hang out right above a crowd.
It's just turn just all the way up. That isn't the only thing though. I said layering is like the best thing. In this part of the song, there is this super cool lead part that Michael had in here. This tone, I don't know what this tone is. Michael, what instrument? What did you do this on? I figured out the notes to that and fed them into some science and made the vocal do it too. And that gets repeated in the second pre-chorus, but like it gets a little weird with it. I'll unfreeze this and talk about it. I love this amp from Neural DSP. It's the one that was made in collaboration with the band Gojira. It's super heavy, and it has a whammy pedal on it. Not only is it like an octave higher now than it was the first time, but it does these little... that sounds so bad, but worse is better. Here's without that happening. This is just not as interesting. It's not as interesting. Okay, I don't know how long I've been going. Probably too long. Hopefully that was interesting to someone. I wish I could be there live, but I'm asleep probably. The last one of these I said I could be dead. I guess that's still true. I am, yet again, a ghost. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. One more thing. Sean. Is your voice okay, Sean? Ow. Drink some throat tea. Drink some throat coat to be the throat goat. Nighty-night.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we do have Michael here. Wow. Thank you for that insight, Cecil, and hope that you are enjoying a beautiful sleep at this very moment.
The throat goat is crazy.
Yeah. Throat coat's a good tea to have. Oh my god.
Oh God, I have it unmuted on the channel, and it was becoming chaos for me.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot to mute the stream.
Oh, that's all good. Yeah. Cecil was supposed to be here for reasons of sleep, I guess. They are not, but really glad that they were able to submit that. Love seeing all the behind the scenes stuff.
That was the nerdiest shit on this album. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cecil. Shout out to Sean in the chat who did the guitar and the screaming vocals.
Yeah.
You can see all the stuff Cecil does, and this is why we butt heads, because he will spend 20 hours doing a thing that I listen to twice. And I'm like, no.
There were some things that Michael was not a fan of, but I liked, and I was like,
Yeah, we went
I
back
have
and
the
forth
final call.
on a couple things, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the nature of the game. And honestly, even on my own stuff with Cecil, there are times where things have made it to the record where I was like, I'm not sold on this, but I trust you. And it's been the right decision. I've never regretted it. So
Indeed.
Just in the short term.
and short term is infuriating.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that you two
control freak.
I'm glad that you two were able to come to agreement and that this album went as well as it did. Yeah, it's been really wonderful to listen through and to talk to you both about it and to hear from Cecil as well.
Thank you so much.
Folks, I mean, there's already lots of good pre-orders on Bandcamp. Again, if the link is not pinned for you for some reason, there it is in chat again on Bandcamp. Head on over to Lex's Bandcamp and pre-purchase Toxpsychology, to be released next Tuesday on May 20th. Other notable events on June 8th, there will be a release show in New York. Lex, tell us a little bit more about that.
Indeed. So Toxicology album release show. We're gonna be pulling out all the stops. If you're in the area, if you're anywhere close at all, I know it's a Sunday. I know it's a weird, awkward day, but if you do show up, I will make it worth your while. Promise.
Awesome.
But not in the ghostwriter kind of way. That was completely fiction.
You will hear that song. Yeah. But that's going to be at the Bowery Electric, 327 Bowery, New York. I hope I'm saying that. Bowery.
Bowery.
Yeah. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah. Anybody else joining you for that show?
Yeah, so actually my two friends that I know from the San Francisco scene, who are now both in New York, Evan Minto and The Ringer, they're going to be my opener and support, and they're amazing musicians and songwriters in their own right, and they will be playing great sets as well. And The Ringer was actually at DEF CON, which Michael was at too. I don't know if you guys met, but he's also a hacker.
I don't know.
Yeah.
DEF CON is always a blur.
It's that tornado Michael for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't talk about any hacking here. I don't need Microsoft shutting down the stream. But no, all in good fun. So the album launches. You've got your release show. Any other notable dates or events coming up to celebrate the release of Toxpsychology?
I think that's it, but I just wanted to thank everyone who's tuned in tonight, everyone who has contributed a video or their time or their presence, their logistical organizing capabilities. This was such a blast, and I hope that what Michael and I and Cecil provided here gives you more dimension on the album, helps you understand some of the influences and inspirations and thoughts going on behind it. I hope it makes consuming the album a richer experience, because I always want people to read between the lines.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Michael, thank you for being here as well.
Yeah, thank you both.
And then this episode, like all of our Let's Listen episodes, will end up on YouTube. So go over to youtube.com/bonusstagevan if you would like to watch this episode again or share it with a loved one, a fan. Definitely head over to Lex's website for information about that upcoming release show. And if you're interested in more listening parties, we do them here on Bonus Stage regularly on Thursdays. I won't say every Thursday, but the next one coming up is going to be for Game Groove's lovely VGM community. They're putting out a lounge-themed Persona album. So that's going to be fun. We're going to have them on the show at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, May 29th. And we've got a lot of other shows coming up. And if you want more info on that, you can go to bonusstage.ca. Lex, Michael, thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been a wonderful time. And we may select a raid target, but otherwise, we hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you, Josh. Take care. Good night.